And I literally fell, and I fell backwards right under the bed. So I wasn't injured or anything, but it completely busted the walking pad. I was like, what type of walking pad is this? That just because I slip, I don't know what it did something to the motor. Anyway, so I had to buy a new one. But I now want one like with some, not a regular treadmill, but like some handles, so I can at least grab on. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, good morning, Jeremy. You hear? Oh, maybe you can't hear us. All right. Well, I'm glad you all are on here. I know there's a question about what I think there was a RAFA grow your, really, I can't remember. It's every quarter, right? Grow your RA. And I'm a huge proponent of referral agent and financial advisor relationships. So we'll push that. But when there's a conflict between our Cascades district or this Monday morning meeting, this one's priority. All right, especially if unless it's a training one that you have to like check the box in order to fulfill your training commitment. But now this one, every Monday morning, we're going to get a good start. And you know, we got a bigger crew now, so I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm not sure. I know Jimmy's on. I don't know if he's going to join us on camera. Jeremy, how's it going?
Hi, morning. Oops.
There we go.
Talking some technical difficulties at first there. I couldn't hear anything. It wasn't well.
Yeah.
It has been technical difficulties the week in my office last week. I'm hoping this isn't a repeat.
No, let's not do
I'm
that.
bothering you too. That's gotta help for IT technical.
I'm always happy to help.
Yes. Hey, Jeremy, like we just, as we bring on new people and, you know, our team gets more tenured, they all know it's pay it forward. Like they all know that they call people and, you know, and we have a very, very helpful team. You could call anyone on our team and they'd be willing to help you. So, Jeremy, I did get Miles over to you in regards to the wildfire because I'm like, who else is it, you know? Or
Yeah, we had a good little chat about it.
awesome. Very good. All right, well, let's start our first meeting of December because I was here last week. But let's go around and introduce. We got 3 new people on 3 new agents on our call, and we actually had 2 that kind of dropped off. They were, so this is like your first couple of years, right? Where you get, hey, this is a standard Monday morning meeting. Let's share some success. Let's see, okay, what are you guys facing during the week, and how can we help? How can we support? I also will always start out with our Maxwell Minute daily reader. So after the intros, we're going to get a little bit of inspiration this morning with that. But let's do some intros just so everyone is familiar with everyone. So I'm going to go over.
Leah sent it. I just sent that, forwarded to you. For Leah's job statement or job and pictures of her roof. And you said Janet Kirk? Cohort. Center Fund.
Southern Oregon, which will be Grants Pass as an office. Started my career out of Sherwin, same company as a part-time delivery driver, worked my way up for, I'll just say, an 18-year career, took every step along the way to get to middle management. Middle management was great. I loved the job. I loved the teamwork. So as a sales manager for a couple of years in LA, in Sacramento, I went to Houston, district manager, city manager.
Yeah.
After I loved the job, loved the people, started to not like the top-down approach. Things are changing. So I had a child that passed away at 6 months old that changed my life perspective completely. And that led me to really quitting my career. Sounds kind of wild, but quit my 18-year career and started a family farm with my wife and kids. I've been doing that for the last 12 years. I sold greenhouses. I was cultivation director for a New Jersey farm. I've kind of done a lot of different things over the last 12 years, but farming was kind of my main core item. So what brought me to country was obviously I'm looking for my last career. I'm hoping this is my last career. I just don't want to jump around anymore. I did take a lot of money out to start my farm, which probably was the financial decision. So don't ask me for financial advice right now. Might not be the best. So that led me to you guys finding me through Indeed, and at this point, after a lot of deliberation, it looked like a really good fit for the twilight of my career. So that's kind of a quick snapshot.
We're really excited to have you, Miles, for sure, yeah, representing well in Grants Pass. And just so you guys, if there's any confusion around what is our district called? Is it Southern Oregon? Because you see that on all the email, and then I call it the Cascades District. So it will be changing to the Cascades District in January, just so you guys know that. So I'm just speaking it into its existence, getting you guys used to that. And so the email distribution list, all of that will change in January. So, and on all the reports and everything, you'll start not seeing Southern Oregon. You'll see it till just for this month, and then in January it'll change. But when you said that, Miles, Southern Oregon, I go, okay, I wanted to cover that with you guys. Or
And I have
Is
two
there-
kids. I would like to make sure I don't forget my two kids. I have
Yeah.
a 22-year-old son and a 17-year-old daughter. So, something.
awesome. All right. Jimmy, are you available? You're the next one on camera. We're not on camera.
Yeah, sorry,
There
I'm
we go.
working back and forth and going in there, so I'm in and out, practicing my other skills. So before country, I had a fitness martial arts gym, and figured I got a few more smarts left, so I want to use them before I get them knocked out of me. And yeah, it's been a challenging road and a learning road all the way through, but I'm grateful for Jeremy and other members of the whole country team that you do, like Christine said, if you do reach out, they do help out in so many different areas. And yeah, just like you, Miles, I want this to be my last career. So I got probably another 20 years left and then I'm done. But get married, got 3 kids. My oldest daughter's in the Marines down in Sandy Oceanside. My other daughter's getting ready to relocate to Alaska for airlines. My son's working at a warehouse trying to figure it out. So I'm blessed, and I'm a grandfather as well. So that is that. I'm gonna go incognito
Yes.
again. So I don't mean to be rude, everybody. Like, sorry, I'm just working with my assistant, and it's Monday is chaotic day. So see this gray hair? Get ready, you guys don't. I see you got black hair, Skylar, Jacob. Hey, Miles, you're smart by shaving that, man. No.
All right, Jimmy, well, I may call on you. Just
Okay,
never know.
no problem.
All right, Jake, you're up next.
All right, well, I'm gonna apologize, here's some background noise, there's some yard work apparently going on right outside this window, so very loud up by you, but I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm Jacob Washner. I've actually been with Country for over 3 years, working as a recruiter out of Bucket One. Obviously just made the transition to the rep role, always something, I wanted to take on. Just didn't know what that timing looked like, and then, got to know Christine more and more over the years. Kind of did work together, but in parallels, I worked with her, the recruiter. So got to know her a little bit, talked more about the role, and this opportunity came up. So super excited to get started. I'll be on the Bend. Starting January 1st, actually, is when I'm officially going to be moving out there, but I currently reside in Phoenix. Before I was a recruiter with Country, worked in the restaurant industry and management, did that for 3 years, an absolute grind. I'm sure some of you might know if you've done that before. So I was ready to kind of get a change of pace, change of scenery. So I love my role as a recruiter. Been a little bit weird making that transition, still with Country, but, no longer on that corporate side, but really excited to get started and just learn a lot more.
Awesome. Give us an update on finding an office. Janelle
Yeah,
went down.
So I actually just sent over a request to the agent I'm working with for a letter of intent for the office that Christine actually looked at for me. So fingers crossed. There are some other individuals that are also interested that are kind of in the got their hat ready. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Really hoping I land out.
Nice. It's beautiful. It's in a great area, and I'm over there and took some pictures and walked through it for him since he's in Arizona. But I hope, let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Yeah.
Put in a good word. See if that guy's connected to anyone else we know. All that good stuff.
And what's the monthly rent? I'm only
Yeah,
curious.
So the office is, it used to be one big office that was like over 3,500 square feet. Or it might be more, I don't know, but they're splitting it into two now. And so the space that I'm gonna try to obtain is about 900 square feet. So it's two main offices and then I think access to a conference room, if I remember right. Yeah. And then there's like a little kitchenette as well. So pretty basic. So not gonna be looking to hire an assistant relatively quick and then also an associate here.
Yeah.
Checked a lot of boxes for me. And then I think the base rent is gonna be right under 2,000 and of course more with, adding on the other expenses that come with it, keeping, routes up and things like that.
This is the one that has it, is,
Yeah, that's where
Great
she's
space,
based.
I hope.
Isn't in that.
Keep it close to Jake.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, yes. Otherwise, let me know where else you need to go.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, figured out.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I'm really excited to have Jake on board. He's stepping in and taking a rather large book of business from an agent that was here for like 20 years in Bend. So, and it's a gold mine, Jake. Like she was not working that book for like 3 years. So, and let's hit it hard. All right, Skylar, you're next.
I'm Skylar Reagan.
Oh.
I grew up here in Southern
hey,
Oregon.
this is between us.
The Cascade District, I should say.
I'm gonna, send you a
I
link
was,
or,
Phoenix Pirates,
Ellis, just
Yeah.
that
small
all
city over
the
there, high school
documents that they
football,
need
college
to.
football at Southern Oregon University.
I thought we sent
Played
him
for a couple of
documents.
years up until about 90.
I just got a notice right here. I'm just forwarding them
Okay.
14 years.
to.
So that was my only other job, or my only job out of college. From there was started on the floor outside in the freezing cold, and then kind of transitioned.
What
to
is the
single
relationship?
and
Can we
the
get
market
proof
price
she's out of
more.
the household? Oh my gosh.
Then just
I
started
just
talking
spoke with her.
about
What else do I need
clients
to
for
get
50
proof
financial.
of?
I probably sold him way too many cars.
That's crazy.
Like 8 or 9
What do
cars.
they
Then
want?
just started thinking like maybe
This one right in
this is all
here,
just
I'm gonna
interesting, so
forward
it's
you
hard
this
to
one
do
too, because I
more.
spoke with her and confirmed she's no longer living in the house.
I got 12-hour days at times. And then just start talking. Probably should have been working here about a year ago if I was maybe smart at taking tests, but the PNC of life and health took its toll on me. And now I'm just excited to get started. I've been here for going on 8 days now, so the logistics part has been different and challenging, but I'm sure the rest of the business kind of comes with that. But just excited to get out here.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited to have you, Skylar. Now, if there's anything, perseverance is just, the word that comes to mind. And who cares? Like you're where you are now at the perfect time, and you did it. So
Yeah.
We're ready to move forward. But it is that you bring up a great point on. When you're so used to somebody telling you when you have to be in the office and you have to be here from 9 to 5 or working 10-hour days, and that's the expectation. And that's the one thing about this opportunity is that, okay, now you've got you're a boss, and you're trying to put those parameters in place where, all right. And as we go on, guys, like there is going to be a lot more direction. I feel like last week was not ideal, right? Where I was kind of out of the picture, at these meetings I couldn't get out of, and not that I would, they're once a year, type of things where I learn a lot, from this leadership conference, but not ideal having me be away and not accessible and all of those things on how I would normally start with you all your first week. So we're going to pick that up, but honestly, moving forward, you have all those sessions, and we'll dig into these things that are, hey, I'm having, and I want you to be honest, because I can't help you if you're not honest with me, and I'm always hey, let's overcome this. We can overcome this. There's nothing that is so hard that we can't work through it. So, but you're going to have more, by at the end of, the next few months or so. But it's configured that way for a reason, is so you feel supported and you have all the access you need. You get, and a lot of me is directing you to connecting with who can answer your question best, and then we get into the fast start coaching. All of that should be on your calendar because those are really, really important sessions where we get into a lot of the nitty gritty. And on some stuff that I know is important going into 2026, we may change those up a little bit, but you won't know the difference because you haven't done them yet. So, I won't forget the important things, but I may add some really good stuff moving forward. So anyway, but Skylar, welcome to the Cascades District, and I'm so glad you're here. And you got the benefit of coming on board with Miles and Jake, like right at the same time. Like there's a huge there's a huge benefit to that because you're all three like, all right, we're all this together. How are you doing? And all of that. How are you overcoming some of the stuff? But Jeremy and Jimmy had the benefit of that when they came on in June. So Jeremy, I'll throw it out to you.
Yeah, so I run the Sisters Agency out in Sisters, Oregon, a little bit west of Bend, for anybody who doesn't know, a little small mountain town out there. I've been doing this since June, like Christine said. Before that, I was slinging cars for a year at Dick Hannon Nissan and Dick Says Yes in Gladstone. And then working in restaurants, did some insurance. I actually technically, I started with Country in June, but I actually worked for almost 2 years for Country as both agency office assistant, kind of, and associate agent down at my dad's office behind Andy Busen Agency. So, kind of been ping-ponging back and forth for the last few years, and I'm looking to, it's fun when you're in your early 20s to do that, but I'm like, okay, it's time to settle down, have the big boy job, try to get the white picket fence in a few years kind of thing. So I'm having a good time doing it so far, and I'm just excited to see where it goes. And seriously, if anybody has any questions, I actually I pride myself on knowing the computer systems as good as IT half the time. So I'm good with that kind of stuff, and I've seen the full transition from all of our legacy systems for policy writing to all of the new systems for policy writing. So I actually have a pretty good handle on how all of those systems work better than a lot of those. I'm helping.
Yeah.
I've been de facto IT at every place I've ever worked. So if you're ever like, hey, this thing's screwing me up and IT is not helping me, I've called them 4 times. Give me a ring. And also Kelly is awesome. Kelly Marquez, she's helped me get my assistant out multiple times. We couldn't figure stuff out, so use her as a resource. But yeah, I don't know. I've been having a good time so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes, and good to see all these new faces.
Awesome. Kelly, since you bring up Kelly, just so you all know, Kelly Marquez is my market assistant, or our market assistant, I would say, but she has certain things that she does. Consistently, the market assistants across the board just went through a huge transition in July, and she handles our district and also handles our what's going to be called Treasure Valley district, which is out Boise. So she handles both of those. And she is fantastic. She really is. So if there's something you need, if I say, hey, good, reach out to Kelly. That's who that is. She's our assistant. But Jeremy, Jeremy has a new assistant. How's that working out?
Yeah, it's going really well so far, and she's actually very good at filling in the gaps that I'm not so good at. Things like I've been doing this for 6 months now, and I hadn't even set up a business Instagram page, and so she's helped. Like I'm 25, but I'm social media illiterate because I'm not on any of it. So she's been helping me out with that. She's working on her licensing, so she's doing that when it's slow. And no, it's been really good so far. It was kind of it was a bit rough to try to find somebody who fit in really well with where my business is at to start, as well as coming out to Sisters, but it ended up working out really well. And I'm right now she's part-time, but if she keeps pulling her weight as much as she does, she's going to pay for herself and bring her on full-time within the next few months. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Yeah. And that always is the goal. The reason I ask certain questions is because I want you guys to get familiar with, hey, you're going to be bringing on assistants, right? And this is, it's a good example just to kind of walk through and talk through on some of the stuff that she's doing. And Jeremy also brings up a key point of she's going to pay for herself. I mean, that is the goal with every assistant, is especially a producer, is that they pay for themselves,
So
and bring in enough business to be able to, just not. So those are all things, but you also, you know, for those of you who didn't know, Jeremy's dad is Andy Newson down in Lehigh, and he's one of our top.
Oh, I haven't even gotten that far. I'm working on the roof.
In our district, honestly. And I say that because
Well,
he
yeah,
does,
well,
I
I
was
made
doing all
Trining
the,
go up.
was in my office yesterday,
Yeah.
and, you know, just doing all the
Yeah.
All-American, so we have these
So they're
trips,
gonna
I don't know if
cover
you guys saw it on agency news,
Where
where we have an incentive trip every single year, and, I'll talk about the qualification for this year's trip, it's like a special resort in Cancun, that it's all inclusive, I mean, all of that. Andy, you said we have 4 different pathways for you to qualify for the All-American, there's overall growth, there's the financial focus, there's the PNC focus, and then there's also life focus, so if you're strong in one of those areas, we always give you a pathway to qualify for All-American. He's qualified in all 4, all right, so he's fantastic when it
So
comes
let's
to
go back. So
holistic
you see, how's a
approach
roof
with his
schedule?
clients
Mhm.
and
So even when you
and
update your
checking all
year,
those
you have to
boxes. So I
do
just did the
replacement
math
costs,
yesterday,
not
Tanya, I was
the
like,
schedule.
what the heck?
And sometimes too, you click it and then you go to
You
print
know.
it and it changes, so you have to kind of double check it, because then it changes back. It's great. So
Yeah.
when you scroll it
So,
down.
Anyway, so there's
the
that,
big
but
roof
let's
is
talk about the
awesome, but
American.
those are the
In
ACB
twenty
roof
twenty-six, just
schedule.
announced, and
You're
that's
gonna
one of the
do that
highlights
down,
of
you're
our
gonna do
leadership
this
conference
cost.
is we get the
Yeah,
first,
and then you're
you know,
gonna do
dibs
the
on
meal,
hearing
and then
where
let's
the
be
new,
able
the
to
new
rate
trip is gonna be,
like
so
premium
who wouldn't
something.
want to go to
and
the
see
Grand
what-
Wailea and Maui?
I was like,
Like,
what do you want to
And,
do?
and I'm telling you guys, my
Damn it.
first All-American, I'm sure Jeremy could tell you all about
And it's not bad, I feel like
those
$10.
those are when you get to
Like,
bring your
that's the same
kids and all
price.
that, so that's like the mini, get a fast start, an all-star trip,
Yeah.
and this year they've
Yeah, I
never
think
seen
that.
them do a cruise before.
Okay, then I would double check.
Messages on that, so like,
Like,
like, and so they're like,
yeah,
this
just
is
maybe
amazing.
summary location.
So, those have a
Awesome.
west
So, you
and
know,
an
we
east,
schedule.
so the east one is at the
And have
Bahamas,
a
a couple
minute,
days, a couple different
midterm,
ports
so,
in
like,
the Bahamas,
$7.
and the west is
yeah, they're probably
going
gonna
up to
build for
Catalina
like
Island
$4, something like that.
and down to
And
Ensenada.
it wouldn't get billed for it
Going
because
out of LA,
of
so that's it's the first 5 months, so for you guys, like literally, I see everyone on the screen I'm looking at should be an all-star, right? It's just about, for you guys, it's all $8,500 in life premium, annual life premium, like, let's go. So easy, right? Challenge for new people, but I definitely see that as a, I mean, that would be wouldn't that be great your first 5 months? Hey, honey, I just want a trip for us. Like, you talk about the support from an upfront. So I think there's gonna be a lot of opportunity in that space. And then, of course, the All-American has a little bit more nuances, life app count, and life premium, and then PNC, like PIF and BIF and all of that, but individually, when we do our coaching sessions, I'll make sure you all know, hey, if that is a focus of yours in your business plan, like, let's make sure we get that done in conjunction with meeting your other goals. So, and of course, it's always on my radar for the district. So the district also has an opportunity to qualify. And we are this close for this year. Not sure we're gonna pull it off, but it's all in life premium. So, and if you don't have the life apps in by now, I don't know. It's tough to get stuff through in 2 weeks' time. So, anyway, gotta depend on, let's just put it that way. So if we get some paid, we'll be an all-American district. All right. Any questions so far?
I always get kind of mixed up on All-Star and All-American because they don't run for the same amount of time for the contest, right? Isn't one of the contests only part year and one's full year? Or is
Yeah.
it-
Yep, All-Star is the first 5 months, so it's starting January 1st, and it goes through May 31st. So you got full 5 months, and for you guys paying, like, you could take life apps this month and get them in the works, and then it's just when they get all finished and, you know, all tightened up with a nice little bow and paid, that's the month that they count in. So even if you took life apps this month and didn't get them finished until January, they would pay in January, they would count for that trip. Yeah, so it's a first $8,500 in premium on the life end for you guys, since you're not in your first full 12. Yeah, for those who are with country over 12 months, it's, I think, 12,500 that you have to pay, so it's $4,000 more. But I think you get a few good ones in there. And for you guys, there's no I'll verify this, but off the top of my head, I don't think there's an app count for those that are tenured, beyond the 12 months. And for you guys, Jeremy and Jimmy, like you hit that cutoff perfect, you know, because you're not gonna be in that, and I'll verify that because, that'll be your full 12th month. And so do you have to have 12 life apps in a rolling 12? I'm not sure, but I'll check. For you too, because you're so close to when that June 1st, annual anniversary. But for Jake, Skylar, and Miles, there's no app count for you. So it's, if you get one big whopper that says, yeah, I want to pay an $8,500 life premium annual, then you're like, hey, I gotta pick a cruise. So, anyway, all right, let's transition to, our Maxwell Daily Reader. So I always, and you can notice today too, I do Monday motivation. I really try and motivate, sometimes you need that. It's a Monday morning. You need, hey, let's have some inspiration for the week. And I'm put on my readers because I need those. All right, so we're December 8th. And this is from John Maxwell. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a great author in the leadership space. And I read a ton of his stuff. I listen to a lot of the executive leadership podcasts that him and his team put on. I'm a huge, I just eat up content. I really do. And I just love it's just every day you just read it. And you're like, oh, yeah, I get that. That will apply to me today. So this one is Watch Another Person Bloom. Scott Adams, creator of the popular Dilbert cartoon, tells the story about his beginnings as a cartoonist. You don't have to be a person of influence to be influential. In fact, the most influential people in my life probably are not even aware of the things they've taught me. When I was trying to become a syndicated cartoonist, I sent my portfolio to one cartoon editor after another and received one rejection after another. One editor even suggested I take art classes. Then Sarah Gillespie, an editor at United Media, one of the real experts in the field, called to offer me a contract. At first, I didn't believe her. I asked if I have to change my style, get a partner, or learn how to draw. But she believed I had already had good enough to be nationally syndicated cartoonist. Her confidence in me completely changed my frame of reference and altered how I thought about my own abilities. This may sound bizarre, but from the minute I got off the phone with her, I could draw better. There's no telling what might happen if you were to begin encouraging the dreams of the people around you. That's from the book 25 Ways to Win People. So the thought for the day is encourage someone today, and you might get to watch them bloom tomorrow. I love that. I really do. Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts on that, or an example of where you've been able to impact somebody in that way? And then come back and say, hey, you know what, you didn't even know this, but you really impacted me. Have any examples?
My part-time back in Sherwin-Williams, when I hired him, I kept dangling the carrot in front, saying, hey, this carrot's for you if you want it. I'm not gonna push you, I'm not gonna force you to do it, but you have a career, you have an opportunity. Let's go for it. Long story short, been working at Chico Sherwin-Williams as a manager now for 15 years, won multiple trips, like you're saying. And honestly, looking back, me just giving him advice that I would give myself. And he looks at it like, man, I never would have put 401k. Thank goodness he did, because obviously Sherwin-Williams has went up like 800% since he started the company. So things that I didn't even know if the advice was really that vital. Obviously, it was very impactful for them.
Yeah. I had the privilege last week of sitting with two agents of mine that have been promoted to other district leaders. So one taking a district leader position in Peoria, Illinois, one of the largest districts that we have in Illinois. And then I had another one in a district in Kansas City. And so, I'm sitting there, they're sitting at a dinner, a table, and they're sitting next to each other. And so I just go up to them, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome to be able to have had the influence I had on them and really encouraging them for the leadership role. It was just, I was proud, just to be able to look at both of them and know honestly that I had a small part of changing their lives, you know, for the better. Both of them relocated their families. I mean, all of that. So it was just one of those moments that I was like, even if I just had just a little bit of it, it makes me proud, to be able to influence someone's life. So anyway, all right. So let's talk a little bit about, and these sessions really are, hey, what's working well? So I'm going to throw that out. And you know, some of you on the call may just be sponges right now because you're like, I just started, like, I know, training's going well, you know, something like that. But Jeremy, let's start with you. Like, what's the past couple weeks, because we haven't met for a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
What's been going well in your office?
I mean, my big change has been hiring on Juniper, and getting her trained up, because this is her first office job and her first insurance job. Like, she's still working on her license, so there's a lot of things where she's very gung-ho. She might even be more motivated to make this business work than I am, I feel sometimes.
That's awesome.
But she's very clean. And so there's things like I just gotta still kind of teach her how to answer the phone and how to do emails and stuff like that. When somebody calls in, she's like, "Oh, I'm transferred to Jeremy," and I'm like, "Okay, no, let's work on. Oh, let me see if Jeremy's available. Who's it calling? What's it about?" So it's these very basic building blocks that we're working on, and she's been getting tremendously better. Like it's this night and day difference almost even from 3 weeks ago, and I can tell she's just going to run with it as it keeps going. That's kind of been my big successes. And I almost, when I was in college, went down the path and tried to become a professor. So I love teaching. I love sharing knowledge. I love giving this to people. And so it's been big for me and my motivation to kind of have somebody to share this with as well. So that's kind of been really my big success for the last few bits. It's just been getting Juniper all trained up, and now November seems like it was a lull, and from what I've heard from a lot of folks, that it's often a lull month around here, but December's starting to pick back up. So I'm hoping now that she's got, a little bit of wind in her sails, that we'll finish up the year strong.
Awesome. So you jogged a memory from last week. Just a point that I was like, hey, that is a great idea. And Skylar, for you, being scratch and just you don't have any clients that you're having to take care of, right? This won't, you're going to approach holistically anyway, right? So you're going to approach and say, hey, and I'll teach you how to do all that. But for those of you who have books of business, just what Jeremy talked about is when you bring on an assistant, they answer the phone and you're unavailable, right? So saying, hey, Jeremy's unavailable, say he's in a life appointment. Oh, you know what? Jeremy's in a life appointment right now, because I can't tell you how often, and we teach from our district, we teach assistants to pivot all the time, as far as introing, being able to look at the screen and saying, okay, what gaps do I see product wise? Just, this person is a monoline, auto only or home only. Then how can you set up, hey, you haven't met with Jeremy for a while, and, to have a review or a life appointment or anything like that. So we teach that, but sometimes it's overlooked. And so really, I thought that was somebody who said that, and I was like, that is a great idea, to where you just are planting the idea of life insurance all the time. And so if your assistant says, hey, you know what, Jeremy's at a life appointment right now, let me have him call you when he's done, or, I'll get you on the list or whatever. It's great, even though it's you're unavailable, right? But instead of saying unavailable, you're planting the product of life. It was in a life, or knowing that it just creates an environment of he's running life appointments. So anyway, that's just a little tidbit.
I like that, because I've been trained for my office job when I was starting as an assistant is, if anybody ever calls in, something isn't available.
I see.
Yeah.
And that's what I was always supposed to say about the life appointment. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So it just plants the life thought, right? Oh, Jeremy does life insurance, even though you've told them the last 5 times that you could, who knows? People have short memories. But also what brought up, because one of you mentioned it, and I was like, all right, if I don't write this down, I need to make this point. So for Skylar, for you too, Jeremy, you talked about the different platforms, right? Of transition on between legacy and our PAS system. that where you write policy. So Skylar, you're in PAS from day one, right? So we've converted, we're in the middle of auto conversion. So Miles and Jake, you probably will have some legacy clients. Only on the auto side, our home conversion's done, but on the auto, we still have 6 months we didn't start till July of this year. So, you still have 6 months of auto conversion possibly happening with some of your assigned clients. All right, so it's just going from our legacy system over to our PAS system. All right, so we'll get more into that if you have questions about that, but.
How do you spell that? Path?
PAS. Yeah, so if you see anything PAS, that's what we call it, and that's the system that Skylar's writing everything in, right? And you guys do business too. It's all in that one. So.
I think it's funny how many names they went through before they settled on PAS, like homegrown and drive and all of this stuff. It's like, no, everything's just PAS. It's much nicer.
Okay, and then in 2026, we all get, Navigator's going away. So you guys are gonna learn Navigator, and that's going away. We're gonna Salesforce.
I'll be honest, Christine, I'm not holding my breath, but it's gonna happen in 2026.
I think it's a strong after last week, it's a strong possibility. So.
I just remember AIP and when Facebook started going away, and so I'm like, I don't know. Because how are they gonna integrate farm? How are they gonna integrate some old licenses in Salesforce? So it's still gonna be around to some
It'll be
degree.
interesting to see. Well, our old farm system farm's not on Navigator, right? It's in our blue zone, so.
Well, yeah, so. that's what I'm saying. It's like legacy's not fully disappearing, it's kind of fun.
Yeah. All right. We struggle with technology sometimes, but it's getting better. We're taking leaps and bounds, millions of dollars of investment as a company into new technology. So, I'm excited it's gonna still be a lot of change, right? And we're gonna continue to do that. I really, just so you guys know, this next year, really going to be hitting AI hard, and how can we get ahead of it, even just, grab the tail of AI and not be afraid of it, but how can we use it and integrate it into your processes and your systems, and it's not going away, like it's here, right? So how can we take full advantage of it in our industry and with what you guys do building your agencies? So I'll be supporting that a lot, just doing a lot of research on my own on how to do that, and seeing what my leaders come up with too. So we'll be diving into that a lot. Who else wants to share? Hey, this is what's working well, even if it's in training. Like, what's interesting in your worlds of training for the first week?
Well, for me, it's just having an office right now, right? Not being at home doing training, because I don't know how well that would go instead of sitting at a desk and actually just knocking it out. It's nice today with my first day with Navigator, so I'll probably go back and do some of the Navigator training that I completed with being able to actually open it up and kind of go along with it.
Yes. Yep. Good. We got everything's hooked up with your license. So yeah. So that was good. Yes, that it is nice to be able to come in and go into an office, and it just kind of changes the environment. I see that just with my home office, and yeah, I don't have any distractions here, thank goodness. But it is nice to have that opportunity. So Skylar's working on my Medford office there. And you're surrounded with 3 other agents, right? That can, be a conduit of information. And answer questions, and encouragement, and all of that. So.
Pedro will be sick of you today, I'm sure. Yeah.
Hey, he signed up for it. He referred you over.
I think, Christine, for me, because of the book of business and calls are starting to come in already, and I can honestly say after our conversation last week that as much as I want to answer every call, I genuinely feel it's a little bit of a disservice right this second for me trying to answer calls, get caught in the middle of everything that I have no idea how to actually handle, which that's to me the best learning way. I'm super down for that, but I think I had an epiphany on Friday. I don't know if Skylar and I talked about it. Friday, Saturday, I just started working through all the weeks. I mean, I'm almost done with week 3. Not because I really want to be that far ahead, you know, I just don't want to have that stuff on my plate while I'm trying to compartmentalize. Which is in the weeds when someone calls, because as soon as they call, I'm looking around going, I don't even know where to start, where to go, who to call. I think that's where my biggest struggle right now is. Since our call later today, I have a plethora of questions. But really, it's logistics and protocol. Where, who, what, where, why. I feel like I could fumble around and figure stuff out. Make it not sound like a dummy to people, even though I don't know. But I'm really right now, it's who do I call? Who's my first call? This is just 1-866 country. So I think that's where I'm struggling. That's why I just kind of really start working ahead this weekend. I just feel like I need to, so I can get on to the clients that, you know, looking at my call history, I've got 30 calls. I can pick up the phone and call every 30 of those customers, start to meet them, start to, you know, and I want to do that. I need to do that. So it's kind of where I'm at right now. I think Jacob, you haven't started yet, Jacob, right? On your book, or your book doesn't have your phone number yet?
It does, so I
Okay.
think it just got integrated in there, so I haven't gotten any calls yet, but I know that time's gonna be coming, and I assume this week is when those calls are gonna start rolling in. So I'm actually starting to get CC'd starting like Friday was the first day, but on some underwriting emails that we're going through for changes for clients, so yeah, I mean, I'm working a list of questions for Christine as well, so it's gonna have work cut out for her today. But yeah, I know I'll be in that space. So
So I want to get it working, but I feel like I feel like it's a little bit of a disservice for the customer when I'm bumbling around. So
Yeah, and we'll work on some go-to protocol with that, and what that looks like. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, okay, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, as far as, you know, even just the assignment of the phone number. Like, I felt it was more of an advantage to have the phone number than a disadvantage of not having it, right? So, but now you're feeling 30 call, like, oh my gosh. And I'm thinking, honestly, Miles, I'm thinking, how, based on the book of business, how are there, like, just people, how did this agent create a sense of, like, who's calling? I mean, or what do they need?
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I'm.
that's crazy.
I do have a little tidbit too with I worked a variety of different kinds of sales things and restaurants things that have a very intense sense of urgency, especially like dealership or restaurants just in general, because food's so time sensitive. And while you still want to have the sense of urgency, you still want to be getting on things, the insurance world does move a bit slower, and clients understand that things move a bit slower, and sometimes, you know, something's not going to happen in an hour, sometimes it might not happen in a day, right? And so many of these people are just happy to hear a voice on the other end of the line. They're just so like, oh, okay, someone here to listen to my thing. If you let them know, hey, I'm going to try to get back to you before the end of the day, but it might be tomorrow since I'm already working on 3 other things for some other folks, and I'm still trying to, you know, cut my teeth on country systems here. So just have some grace with me, and we'll get through this for you. And if you have that attitude going into talking with your clients, it's that they'll tend to be more understanding, especially because if they're assigned clients or they're coming from you know, like there used to be Allstate or there used to be a Geico client or something, and you know, and every time they call in, they just get, you know, random person in the call center, and now that they know, they can be like, oh, every time I call in, I talk to Miles. Every time I call in, I talk to Jacob. You know, like when they start to have that, even if they don't get an answer right away, even if they don't have that, that's part of why they come to country, because we're not always the most cost competitive. We're not always, you know, the most like, let's name your price tool, right? Like that's not who we are. Where let's have a holistic approach and make sure everything's taken care of with a level of scrutiny that you might not get from other places. So approaching it that way kind of helps, but I completely understand where you're coming from on that too, Miles. I felt the same way for my first 4 weeks, but I was coming in, so I get it, man. I get it, but that's my nugget coming from having just been where you are a few months back.
I agree, 100%.
That's why we do this, because y'all can commiserate and help each other, and, you know, and this is where you say, hey, I'm really having trouble with this. you know, because I guarantee you someone's on the call that can help or say what they've just gone through. Right. And I love to create a space for this. And, you know, and there's sometimes where we'll have like a speaker come in and talk about, you know, specific, maybe product or something, an idea or something that's working. But mainly the majority of the time it's going to be this, where it's like, hey, share some successes, what's working well. And then, you know, you get the question, well, how'd you do that? You know, how'd you make that work? And you get some good ideas, some really good ideas space. But once a week, every Monday, starting the week out, 9 a.m. Is 9 a.m. here on Pacific time. I think Jake, what is it? You're an hour ahead, Arizona Mountain time.
Yeah, 10 a.m. for me, but like I said, in
Pretty
3
soon.
weeks now,
Yeah.
I'll be on your guys' time. So excited to be back on Pacific time where I grew up. So
Yes, very good.
We're all loving the Lego. We really love
Good.
our Legos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Skylar said he just loves it. Just loves it.
Just
I
as
was-
much as I can talk to myself.
Those are so, and I'll admit, like I'm not as in. They've just given us access to it so we can see it. So I can go in there, watch your videos, and do all your. You're like, yes, she gets to see all that. Hey, I gotta know. So I'm like clueless in it. So I gotta have Courtney Luttrell. He's our field leader on the training side. I gotta have him walk through that with me. All right, how can I use this as a, you know, best as a district leader? So anyway, but those are, I mean, I love role playing. Like it's either doing it with me or doing it, you know, on video, but we'll get better and they score. I saw how like they score you, AI scores you, and you can use AI and all of that. I think that's fascinating. I think it's cool. But we'll do some of that in our sessions because I want to make sure that you guys know, and you know, in a natural way how to have a conversation and approach and you know still get the good points across. But I get it, like with that whole training thing. I think that's it's lovely.
The Lego was really cool. I was getting super into it, and then it just got kind of away with me with servicing, and I didn't actually get to use it too much. But it was interesting. It did it drove me a bit nuts though because sometimes it's a little too exacting, and it's like, no, you got to point things because you talk 1 word per minute too fast versus what my perfect window is. That's kind of funny.
Even measures, I didn't even know it measured that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's words per minute, like how many times you say like, but like it measures all that stuff.
I got a lot of those.
Yeah, me too.
Guess I-
My biggest thing is how do I get rid of all the ones that I clicked 5 seconds where I was.
Yeah.
I immediately stopped it. Like I have like 20 of those. So they're all listed. I'm like, how do I cannot delete them. I tried yesterday. I'm like, how do I get rid of them all?
I think only the one you pick gets uploaded to the people reviewing now.
But
Yeah.
you can see all of them. They can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's the one I think. Oh yeah, no, I was a perfectionist. I sat there and like take 15 takes, and I'm like, okay, this is the one I'm setting.
Yeah, so I'm saying.
Very good. All right. Well, anything else? Anything else, you guys, for this morning? Before I know I'll see. The only one I won't see is Jeremy and Jimmy, but all 3 of you, I'll see you later today. Just kidding. I'm really looking forward to that. So we can kind of set a foundation of where you're at now and what you need my help with for the rest of the week, and we'll get her done. All right. Anything else? You guys good? All right. Well, we'll see some of you later, and Jeremy, Jimmy, have a great rest of your week.